What's up YouTube, it's Parrot, founder of Parrot CTFs. In this video we will be going over automated recon with bash scripting. As an added section, we will also be going over a bit more intermediate stuff with automating bash scripting to automate various hacking workflows. An example of this is with one of our lab machines that we will be using here, which is Marketer, and we'll show a demonstration of that. That same concept can be applied to other things, but this is just the example script that we will build. You are expected to know a bit of bash scripting knowledge. This is an automated recon video, not a bash scripting tutorial. However, we will be going over a quick refresher, which should teach you what you do need to know on how to build your own recon scripts and automation. Some of the concepts we will go over is comments, getting user input, checking permissions, printing to the screen, playing around with user input, if and else statements, while loops, and command substitution. And that's usually enough to get you a template going here. So let's go ahead and open up our bash shell. I am on Kali Linux. For majority of this video, you can follow along. We will remain in the terminal here. I'm going to use Vim. You can use Nano. I may switch between the two. Either one will work perfectly fine here. So let's go over some of the concepts here. Let's do basic bash.sh. We'll go into insert mode here. And the very first thing that we'll need to know here is the shebang. And that will be just bin bash. This is the location of bash and sort of lets the program know what this file is going to be, right? These are comments, right? Not to confuse that with this, because there is a explanation point there, right? So a comment looks something like this. This is a comment. Another way to do comments, which isn't like native in bash, but you can do this. You can do a comment, and this is a comment, multi-line comment for whenever you need to do multiple lines. And then of course you can continue from there. The next thing that we want to go over is getting user input. When we're running these bash scripts, we do want to feed it some sort of information so it can perform its task. So for example, we might want to get a username, right? So we can do $1, which is going to get input sort of like this. So you can do a bash script here, like script.sh, and then if you enter something here, right, that's what this is going to do, right? Another way to get user input is with the read command here, and we'll just do tag p, and then we can give an instruction here. So enter your username, right? And then we can assign it to username. Basically what an if statement is it's going to check a condition. So to put this in a real life scenario here, if there's a human being that goes outside, right, and it's raining, then they'll take out their umbrella. So a statement like this could be if, okay, so we might define a variable here. Raining is equal to true, right? It'll be if raining is equal to true. And the way that we do if statements here is a bit different. We're going to do if here and then make sure that there's a space there. And then we'll make sure there's a space there. And if rain is equal to true, then we are going to echo it is raining, use your umbrella, right? And then we'll do fi. It looks like my syntax is wrong here. If raining is equal to true, maybe it needs to be like this. Nope. Interesting. Okay. They're very iffy about their spaces there, so keep that in mind. So there we go. Alright, just had too many equal signs on there. Okay, so another concept here will be checking permissions. Sometimes it is useful to see if you're running it as, for example, the cal user, or if you are running it as the sudo user. In order to do this, if we're running as the root user, we might do something like this. So we'll do if, and remember to keep that space in between there, and then we'll do $, and this is a command substitution. And what that means is it's going to run a command here, right? So we're going to run the command id tag u that will get the UID of the current user, and if it's not equal to 0, then it looks like I need to close that out. Then we will echo, and what I like to do here is I like to put indicators of an error like this, a success like this, and information like this, so that way you can sort of keep track of what's going on. So this would be an error because the script could not run due to this. You need to run this script as a root user. There we go. And then we can do fi here. And then if we go ahead and run this, I need to run it as a root user. And that is because if I do id tag u, it'll be an ID of 1000. So I am not a root user. But if I do sudo bash basic.sh, nothing will return, and that is because I am the root user. So printing onto the screen, you've basically already seen that. You just use echo, right? Color codes and checking if a variable is not null, right? So to check a variable if it's not null, we'll do tag z here, and then let's do name, and then we can do then, oh, hold on, so then right here, then we will echo you need to enter your name, and then we can do fi, and then let's put some more functionality in here. So let's do read tag p, enter your name, and then we'll do name, and then echo hi, and then to use that variable we can just do name, right? So if we go ahead and run this, it'll ask me my name, I'll do Ryan, and then I'll say hi Ryan. So for color coding, which will come in handy for like various statuses, so we can do here, there's some special stuff that you can use, so I'm gonna go ahead and copy and paste it over, but you can use something called tput here, and each one of these numbers is a different color. We'll go ahead and assign those variables red, white, green, and blue. So enter your name. So to use this, we can do white, or you know what, let's do green here, and then we can go ahead and change it back to white. And then for here, because this is an error, we can change this to an error, and then we can do red, right? That signifies that an error has occurred. And then we can go ahead and change that back to white. And the reason why we want to change it back is because it will cause errors in the rest of your program if you don't change it back to white, because this will now be white here, where previously it would have been red because we started this red here, right? So let's go ahead and write and quit this program. Looks like there was some sort of error there. Okay, so what I did wrong here was I put these variables. Okay, that's how you want to do it. When you are working with so many different languages, it gets hard to keep up with the syntax sometimes. But that's how you would do that. There we go. Now it's green. If I don't enter something, it'll say you need to enter your name in red. So if we now do Ryan, it'll say hi Ryan in white. And that's sort of how you do color codes. A very common pen testing practice when using bash scripts is to run tools you would normally use in a bash script. This can save a lot of time when you're looking at big networks and applications. So we'll go ahead and show you how to construct something similar to this. So we'll go ahead and create a new bash script here. We'll call it reconscript.sh. Let's go ahead and put our shebang here. And the very first thing we want to do in this recon script is grab your domain. So we'll do $1. And then we also want to figure out where we want to put the results. So we'll do results directory is equal to 2. And I do like to comment my code as I go. Configure settings based on user input here. And then if the domain is not set, then print usage. And basically we're going to use an if statement here with tag Z, and then we're going to check if domain here is not set, and then we'll do an or operator here, or if results directory then we want to echo some usage. So we'll do usage is reconscript.sh, and then the domain and the output. And we can go ahead and do an FI here. Let's go back over here. And it looks like we also need to put these colors here. So set color options here. And again, I'm just going to copy and paste those. I have them written down. Alright, so because this is usage, we can leave that white. That's fine. And then the very next thing we want to maybe check for is many commands you need to be root, which is why we went over that. And then again, we will grab the results of ID here. And if that is not equal to 0, then we will echo in red you need to be a root user to run this script. And of course we can change that right back to white again. And we can close that off. So basically what we're going to do now is comment this out, check if the UID is the root user, and then we can go ahead and start running actual commands. So basically what we can do here is we'll always do an nmap scan, so we can just do service versions, default scripts. I like to do a verbose output here, and then we will put the domain, and then we can do output all formats to results, directory, and then we can do nmap scan domain.txt. Let's actually just output it into a single file here. I think we can just do on for that. Then we can go ahead and put nicto in here. We could do the domain. I think it has an output as well. And then we'll do the results directory, nicto, domain, scan.txt. And we can go ahead and do an SSL scan on domain. We can redirect this. I don't think it has an output, and that's fine. We'll redirect it to results directory, SSL scan domain.txt. All right, and then of course we can echo with green and put a little success indicator here. Script executed successfully. And then we can go ahead and do white again. So, going over this, we've gone ahead and configured the settings based on user input. We've set our colors for various status messages. We've checked and make sure that our script will only run if we have a domain and output. We made sure that it's running as root. And so running the actual commands is something that we're doing here. Then we're going to pass the domain and the results directory, and then just make sure that when we are outputting into text files here, that we'll know what happened in each one. And then we go ahead and put that script executed successfully message, so we know when the scan is done. Let's go ahead and try this out. So if I ls grep recon here, there it is. And we'll notice that it is not an executable script. Just go ahead and just make that executable. So we'll do change mod plus x recon script, and now we can run the recon script there. Not sure why. Very important steps here. When you are echoing here, you do want to make sure that you're going to exit out of the script so it doesn't continue. So I'll usually just do exit and exit, and that's usually good enough. Let me do if tag the domain. I wonder if it doesn't like that OR operator. Yep, I guess it just did not like that OR operator. Interesting. If you guys want to figure out how to actually fix that, you guys can. I'm not worried about it. My script works as designed here. So we're going to do, for example, parrotctfs.com. And then we'll go ahead and define our output as let's just do it here. And it looks like we need to be the root user, and it gives us that red there. So we'll go ahead and be a root user, and our script is executing. And it looks like our script executed successfully. So moving into our last topic today, and that is automating various hacking workflows. In this case here, I do have a lab machine we are going to use. This is the Marketer Lab that is on Parrot CTFs here. Alright, so we're not going to be looking at the full lab here. There's just a piece of functionality here that we want to look at. So on change password, when we submit our new password here, we'll notice that our location that we are being redirected to is API create log. There's a CMD and an actions here. But if we take a look at this base64 encoded parameter here, if we can grab that full parameter, we'll notice that it's just bash here, right? Echo password change successfully. Obviously this is remote code execution. But when testing remote code executions like this and what we're able to do, etc., sometimes it might come in handy to not have to continuously encode base64, right? We don't want to continuously encode that over and over and over and then send that, to this location, etc. So what we can do instead is create a quick automation here using bash. So we're going to do bash RCE automation.sh, and we'll make sure that we include the shebang. Let's go ahead and start off with our configuration. So in case we want to use this for future projects, we may just want to include that IP address configuration there. Then let's get user input for the command, and we can just use read tag p, and we won't worry about color coding here. We just want to get this done super fast here, so we'll do enter command, and then we'll assign that to command, and then we want to base 64 encode command. In order to do this, we will need to do encoded string, make that a variable, and then we will do command substitution here, and then we'll just echo with a new line command, and we'll pipe that into base 64, and there is our encoded string. Last but not least, that location there, we do want to be able to send that over. So let's just use curl. So we can send the curl request to the server, and we're going to go ahead and use the X option here, and then we'll do as a get, although it's a get anyways, but I like to go ahead and define that. Then we'll do IP, and then API create log .php cmd equals change password, and actions is equal to the encoded string there. Let's go ahead and make sure that this is completed there. And that's it. We've gone ahead and automated that, so we can do this automation here. And if we did like a who am I, we're not going to get anything back. Oh, looks like there was some issues there. There we go. There is one more thing that we want to do. We want to go ahead and set this IP address. In this case, the IP address is 10.15.0.135. Let's go ahead and make this executable. Now if we do the RC automation here, if we do who am I, it's not going to give us that output, which is fine. It is important to be on the VPN though. Sudo open VPN, downloads, Reconnaissance 15 pro.ovpn. And we are connected. We can try that again. We got a www data. So that is a great way to automate, a specific issue, because otherwise what we would have had to do is we could have put this in repeater, changed it like this, change this to a GET request, and then what we can do is echo and then replace this every single time, and that would get very tedious very fast. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. Please let me know if you have any questions down in the comments.